Well, it's an alarming UN report on climate change, one that warns India in particular of severe consequences. But India's political leaders in the midst of this election campaign are silent. The Environment Minister has not said a word. In fact, we did try him for this program today as well, but he said he was very busy. This should have been a huge election issue, but it's not. And instead, some of the nasty personal jibes that we hear politicians exchanging make more headlines than this important issue of climate change. Kashish now reports on the implications of this report.
A day after an alarming report by the United Nations on climate change, activists are concerned at the silence in India. For India, the most worrying is the possible food shortage for the country.
Wheat and maize, for instance, are very sensitive to climate change, and there's already adequate evidence that, yields in these two crops are being affected.
The US responded within hours. Their foreign minister said, and I quote, "Unless we act dramatically and quickly, science tells us our climate and our way of life are literally in jeopardy. Waiting is truly unaffordable. Costs of inaction are catastrophic." But in India, which being poor and tropical can be one of the worst affected, there's silence or lip service.
Securing the nation is first task. The second task for any government is to give people the economic spine.
You have got a copy. Please pick up the manifesto. It is very clearly dealing with this subject.
See, I'm not surprised because, we the people who vote people to power are the ones who should be demanding action from them.
The Congress may boast of having environment in its manifesto, but is that just text on paper? Just like the National Action Plan on Climate Change, which was formed under their very own government 6 years ago, which amongst its comprehensive focus on 8 main issues, focuses on these 3 pressing issues: conserving water, sustainable agriculture, as well as energy efficiency in the industry. But none of those 8 have been implemented. Climate change is barely an issue for leaders as they make promises to these poor voters who ironically could be the worst hit by global warming. In New Delhi, Kashish for NDTV.
So why is climate change not a bigger issue in this general election? We've got well-known environmentalist Sunita Narayan here in the studio with us. Also Barun Mitra, the director of the Liberty Institute here in Delhi. Sunita Narayan, to you first. How important is this report, first of all? Because I've already been reading about the skeptics who've been saying it's a little too alarmist and so on. But do you believe that this is something that India needs to look at very seriously?
See, Nidhi, climate science can never be too accurate. So you will always have skeptics who will say that, it's too alarming, we don't know enough still, that this is scaremongering. But the fact of the matter is that over the years, there is more and more evidence to show that what scientists have been saying, have been screaming about with climate change is beginning to come true. The fact is, they are saying there will be more extreme weather events, there will be more freak weather events. We are already seeing that when our weather is changing. We've had the most freakish weather this last month in Maharashtra, in Punjab, in large parts of, and look at the evidence we have, look at the news that we are getting through all this rubbish about, gali galoch of the politics of elections. We get just a little small news item saying farmers committing suicide, crops being destroyed, high economic cost of it. Now, we also know that not one incident can be said is linked to climate change. But we also know that the increasing instances of extreme weather events, of the beginnings that we are seeing of these kind of extreme cold,
so you're saying we're already
heat,
seeing it?
We are beginning to see it.
Okay.
We know that this is a trend. We'll never be able to say this hailstorm was climate change, but we know that what the world is seeing, the polar vortex in the US, the floods in UK, the heat in Australia,
that's a warning
the
sign.
freak, these are all warning signs.
I'll take it to Mr. Mitra. That how do you then see the report?
I think it's a pretty political one in terms of scaring countries like India to go.
So you're one of those who believes that it's scaremongering.
It is scaremongering, and there's a reason behind the madness. It's not unreasonable. And the reason is that countries such as China and India, with the size and the growth potential, would be consuming more energy irrespective of what. And therefore, it suits some interests to try to dampen the economic growth potential. It was probably correct in 2007 when the previous report came in with another dose of scare, but the Western economies and the global financial crisis meant that by 2009 the climate was off the main political agenda. The West is still trying to climb out. They have used this kind of climate scaremongering to dampen growth potential in much of the developing countries, and many of the
But are you
developing.
saying that climate change doesn't exist? Because what Sunita Narayan was just talking about, what we're seeing already.
I agree with what he's saying. I do agree with the fact that climate change is not an ecological issue but an economic issue.
And a
I
political
also
one.
agree it's a political issue. I also agree that the Western world is responsible for contributing to climate change and that our voice has been too weak, has never been able to put enough pressure
you're
on
saying
them
to
to
dismiss
reduce.
the
But
consequences-
to dismiss the consequences
Is dangerous.
is dangerous. It's not. It's just not.
I'll
it's
take
just
that
not
back to you.
needed.
Is it dangerous for us to just
Yeah.
look at this report purely in political terms and say, it is Western driven against India and China, and
Foreign
therefore
hand.
and put it away?
Yeah.
Because as Sunita says, how do we then explain what's happening with the weather right now, for instance?
Yeah, I think, as Sunita said, that science, particularly meteorological climate science, is far from giving you a actual final answer. But to me, there's a fundamental point here. Does science progress through consensus? I don't think so. I don't think, I have been a student of science and engineering right through my life. And I started to understand how science and society evolves. Science is extremely contentious, and that's the reason for scientific progress. Science progresses not by consensus. The moment we make consensus the criteria for promoting science, then we must understand there are other factors behind it. Secondly, the climate changes or the environment changes from various factors. The question is, why are we vulnerable? I think the fundamental fact is that it's poverty that makes us vulnerable. No. If we can figure out a way to grow out of poverty, the vulnerability
But would you
hardly
concede that
be
it is an
discussed.
issue that should at least be politically debated in this country?
I think, look at the harsh reality of life. The election is debating electricity. It's not debating climate. For 99% of Indians, as far as I can tell, access to secure electricity, doesn't matter what the source of that electricity is the criteria. If the political establishment can't figure out how to provide that source, the rest will be damned, as it
Okay,
has
I want to
happened.
take this to Mr. Sheshadri Chari of the BJP, who joins us. Mr. Chari, when one looks at party manifestos, now I know the BJP's manifesto for this election isn't out yet. I was seeing the Congress one, which frankly is very vague on issues of climate change. I think, for the sake of it, it is there. The Indian National Congress will take up cleaning of rivers on a large scale. We will write some national green accounts to ensure that the costs of environmental degradation are reflected in India's national accounts. If you look at the BJP's old manifesto, it begins by saying we will give appropriate importance to containing climate change. We will also clean all rivers. So there seems to be a sense that parties do put these issues in the manifesto, but they're somehow buried there, and they're not big ticket election issues. I mean, who's talking about climate change in the election rallies today? Nobody.
Changing weather patterns is a reality.
Yes.
But to say that climate change issues should be discussed by political parties day in and day out, just as they are discussing inflation or corruption. I mean, no democracy, or for that matter, no country discusses these issues on a daily basis. So what we should understand is that there should be some sort of a political consensus on our response mechanism. How we are going to respond to weather changes, how we are going to respond to some of these issues. But to create a kind of a scare, I would very much agree with Sunita Narayan when she says that the West is trying to create a kind of scare. I think we are talking about global warming today. About 3 decades back, we were talking about global cooling and hydrofluorocarbon and other some such
No, but
things
Mr.
also
Chari, my question is that John Kerry spoke about this on behalf of the United States. Such an important report was released. The Environment Minister of India doesn't have time to even respond to this report or even say anything on it. The BJP's top leadership is also silent on it. So, of course, the onus lies largely with this government, which is quiet and always has been largely in this campaign. But even the opposition parties are not talking about it. I'm not saying talk about it day in and day out. No. But is there no concern? I mean, is this just something that doesn't figure on the radar?
No, the government of the day is finally responsible for some actions of some acts of commission and omission both. But I don't think climate change or weather conditions are a subject which can be left only to the political class. Please, we should not do that. It's okay. The Congress should be alive to this. The BJP should be alive to this. The Trinamool Congress should be alive to all these problems. It's all understandable. But what is more important is keep the political aspect out of it. We should develop the scientific temper, and also we should develop more NGOs, non-governmental organization, and equip them and have trust and faith in them. We should not see them as an impediment to the government. We should look at them as a cooperative.
Why do you say it's not an issue for the political class? I'm just asking, when you have US politicians that make climate change an issue that is center stage, why can't India do that? I mean, these are things that affect people actually on an everyday basis.
We should not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we should not, but let us not trust the political class to handle this kind of a issue. Climate change and these threats which nature bestows on us are subjects which are too serious to be left only to the parliament or only to politicians. Well, there are other things in which politicians are good or bad.
No, I think, Nidhi, I actually find Mr. Chari and Barun making some very serious points here. Let's not sort of bring this into just sort of the humdrum of politics. There are 2 or 3 points. One, the US is not a climate evangelist, okay? It's not the country I want to hold up as my role model when it comes to climate change. It's the world's biggest polluter still on a historical basis. It has done nothing to cut its emissions, and even today it's put out a pathetic target as far as its responsibility is concerned. The very fact that the US has made it political is because today it has found shale gas and it knows it has options. But that aside, so forget the US. I think in India, what my grouse with politicians is as follows. Climate change translates to things that happen on the ground. Today, whether it is in Punjab, whether it is Maharashtra, you're beginning to see farmers being very badly affected because of the weather. You do not have enough conversation about that. You do not talk about how you will get insurance to work. You do not talk about what your forecasting systems will be. You had Uttarakhand that happened last year.
Absolutely.
We do not have improvement of the forecasting system when it comes. I think what we are not serious about is what these impacts will be and how we need to get much better to manage the impacts in our own interests. We need to do things so that we can do development.
Because these are things, everyday issues that impact people. I think when people hear the words climate change, they think of it as some vague issue which, that they are disconnected from. At least it makes the front pages of the newspaper now. It didn't 5 years ago.
No, it probably made front page of the newspaper much more often 5 years ago than today. I mean, this report hardly came on the front page now yesterday. But I think, there are 2 parts to it. One is we should be concerned about today, because in a poor country, a lot of people are struggling to survive today than to think of 100 years ago. And in that sense, or 100 years later, for instance, wealth precisely means that you can think long term. In a poor country, you can't think, or people can't think such a long term, and I don't think my grandfather even knew who I'll be, 60 years ago. So we should leave that aside, that the thinking about 100, 200,000 years hence. What we should look for is that if there is a problem, and there are plenty in this country, electricity for instance, one, transport another, or whatever else related to energy, then what can be done today to deal with it in the context of today's challenges, so that we can build a society which would have a solid foundation to take the next step to deal with it. And like I said, I think much of the environmental vulnerabilities fall on the poor. It's not a coincidence. It is inevitable. Poverty makes us vulnerable. Unless we can figure out a way to deal with poverty, grow out of poverty, I don't think we'll be able to deal with the
last
future
comment
challenges.
to Sunita then as we wrap up.
I mean,
that sounds like a logical argument. That can we afford to think long term?
We are not thinking long term. We are thinking short term when it comes to climate change. We are seeing changes happen on the ground today, and it is time we took stock of it. We managed our development so that it would do much better for the poor. When you talk about public transport, you provide for the poor, you build a different city. When you talk about energy access, you talk about clean energy access. It's also about cooking fuel for women, which will make sure that it doesn't damage their health. So there are issues in which we can make sure that we can deal with climate change and we can get it better. But I think the most important thing with climate change is that we should understand that the poor in this country who are not responsible for climate change are getting hurt, and that voice has to be told and heard by the global community because they have to reduce their emissions.
Just one quick, I completely agree with her. The only challenge is that all the good things that she's just said need not be necessarily linked with climate change.
Absolutely.
Those need to be done in India.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So if we deal with those now, we will be better prepared to deal with the future.
All I'm making the point is make your voice heard at the global community because they need to reduce their emissions. We denying climate change is what the US would like us to do.
I think it's also important politically, at a national level to hear about these issues as well.
Absolutely.
And it may not be day in and day out, as you said, Mr. Chari, but at least it has to echo in some way because the ramifications are so huge for all of us at a very basic level. I have to leave it at that. It was nice to talk to all of you about something different during the midst of this election campaign. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us this evening. And that's it on the show tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with probably a lot more gali galoch. See you then.